Hello everybody, I am Richard Calmes and I photograph dancers, and we're going to photograph some dancers today. First of all, let me tell you where we are. We are in North Atlanta, Georgia, USA, and we are at the Tolbert Yilmaz School of Dance. And the great thing, besides it being a fabulous location, it's got a great floor that allows the dancers to jump and bounce, and the floor absorbs the shock. So when you guys are photographing dancers, don't have them jumping on concrete. They need to be on a cushioned floor. And today's presentation is called Moving Moments. And the reason it's called Moving Moments is because of my new book. And so here's the commercial. And there'll be another one at the end. You guys, if you love dance and you have a friend that loves dance, you know, this is a fabulous gift for them. It has my work for the last 4 years, and you can get it through my site, richardcalmes.com. Just go to richardcalmes.com, click on books, and follow the links. They ship all over the world. They take all currencies, so buy my book. So that's it for the book. Now, let me explain the lighting setup that we have. It's a lot more complicated than last time. First of all, I have a black background when last time I had a white background. And I also have a black floor. And I have a lot of lights. I've got 2 backlights that light the edges of the dancers. Then I have my 2 primary side lights that light the dancers. And then there is an overhead light that gives their beautiful faces light. And speaking of dancers, here are our 2 beautiful dancers for today. What are your first names?
I'm Lily. And I'm Carrington.
And Lily has beautiful red hair, and Carrington has beautiful brunette hair. Now, I always have a plan. I was an architect in a previous life, and now I say that I was an architect and I'm going to show you these sketches. I'm going to be embarrassed. But here is my plan for today. And you can see that there's several jumps and action shots. And I want to be honest with you, we've done a little bit of rehearsal beforehand so that we know what we're doing and that we know how to catch these mostly jumps. So let me show you the rest of the setup. The important part of the setup is where do the pictures go and how are they made? Well, I have my camera back here on a tripod, and it's a 1DX Mark IV and a 70 to 200 f2.8. This is my favorite lens. If I could only have one lens in the world, this would be it. And I'm going to control those lights with this pocket wizard that you can't see. There it is. You can see the pocket wizard. And the most important part of this setup is my beautiful wife of 38 years. She's running the computer, and she has a dance background, and she is incredible help in this whole process. She looks at the pictures, whereas I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff, the dancers, the hair, the lights. She looks and sees if their hands, their feet, what positions they're in, because the very last thing we want to do is put a bad picture out there of a beautiful dancer. So let's get started.
Folks at home, please feel free to share and comment on this post. The more people that share it, the more that's going to get out there. Facebook's algorithms needs your help to share this.
Okay, I promised you a lot more shots this time, and we're going to have a lot of shots, and there'll be time for questions at the end. So Lily is going to start with her beautiful red hair, and we're going to do something called a seesaw jump. And so The trickiest part of these shots with a backlight is making sure that the dancer covers the backlight. You may get a great shot, but then there's the light blinding you because she jumped or moved past the light. So hopefully we won't have that problem, but let's give it a try and we'll see what happens. Ready? And I think we were incredibly lucky here. So Brad, why don't you come over to the computer and see the shot. And look at that beautiful red hair all fanned out. You can see her front foot. And I always like to do another shot. That's a beautiful shot because skirts and hair do different things. Let's do it one more time. And if you'll just watch the beautiful redhead on the stage. One more time. Wait. I always let the dancers decide when to go. So I get focused, and then I say ready, and then they go anytime after that. Ready. There we go. We have another one.
Wait, it hasn't popped up yet. There we go.
Look at that beautiful hair, her arms, the skirt. Let's do it one more time, but don't throw the skirt quite as high. Let's see what happens, and then we'll move on to the next shot.
Concentrate on that front foot.
Concentrate on the front foot, Holly says. Ready. Oh, that's some beauty in that front foot. Is beautiful. Show that one.
When it comes up. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I love that one.
All right, so
Yay.
let's go to Carrington here. And what are we going to do? You're going to do the penché. She's going to do a penché, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to really lower this light to be behind her skirt. Because I've tried already to catch her head, and you'll see in a second why it's tough to predict where her head is going to be. So, this is a penché. Ready? And you know, it doesn't matter what it looks like after I snap, because as you see, she fell forward. But take a look at how the picture turned out.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And of course, you would never know that she fell forward afterwards, but that doesn't count. This is not a performance where you have to keep playing. I think, let's do one more. That's a beauty. So that we have shake your hair, get it over there on that other side. I always feel good when we've got one in the can already. So, ready. Another beauty. So when you're working with hair and fabric in the same shot, you can get hair
On her face.
on her face. And let's compare it to the previous one. So that is the best one, because her face is there, and the hair is not covering her face.
Hair? No hair.
Okay, so we have that one. So things are moving right along here. So let's go back to Lily, kind of tag teaming here.
So we do have a question from afar that I would like to bring up now while we're here. Someone asked, we're using 6 lights. Can you do this type of photography without 6 lights? Could you do it with fewer lights?
Well, now, here's the thing. I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I have done it a lot of years with 2 lights. But the longer you do photography, it doesn't matter whether it's dance or sports or whatever, you begin to develop your own style and look. This is my look, and I perfect it in Photoshop in post, but I get most of the look done with the lighting when I do the shot. So now we're going to do another difficult shot that's difficult to predict. It's a turning shot. And so with a turning shot, and particularly with this one, I'm watching where that back foot is when I snap, because if I don't do it at the right time, the back foot will be totally gone. So, let's do it. Ready? All right, we don't see her back foot, but again,
Just a sec. There we go.
with a turning shot, is that her back foot or is that a piece of
I'll
fabric?
have to enlarge it.
Now, we're in Photoshop, so we're bringing it up in the raw viewer.
Yeah, you can see, but you can see the bottom of it.
Okay, you can see her foot there. I would like to have more of that foot showing. But it's just a matter of how the dress turned, how it flopped. You just never know with fabric and hair.
And turns are the hardest.
And turns are the hardest. So let's go with it again. Ready? Now, I deliberately waited a long time, but I believe if you look at this, you'll see that it is a fabulous shot.
Ooh, it is pretty. But we don't have her leg.
We don't have her leg, but do we really need her leg? That's the question. So, look at the beautiful fabric. But I would say I'd like to try it one more time, and don't bring the dress up quite so high. Ready. That's a beauty, and the fabric is fabulous looking. We don't see her back foot, but I don't think we need to, considering how
Very
beautiful the skirt is.
We have a question, Richard, from
Yes.
Karen Hatchett. She says, how long do you spend with your models explaining how they should move before you start shooting the photos?
Well, the answer is, this is not my first shoot with these dancers. I have shot several times with these dancers, and today we started rehearsing at 1 o'clock. So we rehearsed for 2 hours beforehand because we wanted to get the poses right, and we wanted to get them good and warmed up. You work with dancers, they are athletes first and artists second. So athletes have to be warmed up, because if you ask them to do something that's explosive and they're not warmed up, they can pull a muscle, and the last thing I want is for a dancer to get hurt while I'm behind the camera at all because of me. So make sure when you shoot dancers that they are warmed up, that you have a good floor, and remember that they are athletes.
Another question. Fred, L-E-M-E, I don't know how to pronounce that. I guess it's Lean.
Yep, he's asking a technical question. I was
Yes,
actually just getting ready.
It's easy. It's, can you please detail how you trigger the shot? Is it purely manual?
I trigger the shot. Everybody ready? This is how I trigger the shot, with my finger. But when I trigger the shot, this pocket wizard on top sends a signal to all the lights. And the lights are now set so that their speed is 1/4000th of a second. So it will freeze hair.
Yes, and that's the flash duration. We are using the Paul C. Buff Einstein lights.
So that's the flash duration, because it doesn't matter what the ambient light is in this room. On my set, the flash determines the light. And the flash duration is very, very fast. My camera shutter speed is only 1/200th of a second. If you shot a fast-moving dancer without lights, 1/200th of a second, they're going to be blurred. So, but they're not blurred because I'm shooting them basically at 1/4000th of a second. Are we ready now for your...
We are, but I want to say hello to everybody from North Wales, from Russia, from Scotland, and from Ireland. Hello, everybody. We're so happy that you're with us today.
Okay, we're back to Carrington. Okay, now, are you ready for yours? Okay, what was it we're doing with you?
We're doing a scorpion.
Okay, she's doing a scorpion. And she did the penché before, and the scorpion is similar. And I'm adjusting the light, as you can see, and hoping that's about the right height. Now, this happens very fast, but if it works well, She will do it right every time, but what I mean by works well is the skirt needs to look good. So put your hair over on the other side. Ready. And as you see, that is fast. So that was perfect. I want to try, let's hold the skirt and let go of it, remember?
Oh, that's nice.
Let's hold the skirt in the front, and let go of it. And that is, we've gotten one good one. We're rocking and rolling.
Relax your neck just a little bit, shoulders and neck. I know it's tough when you're throwing your foot up, but just a little.
Ready.
Yeah.
And I was lucky with the lights, and now the skirt. Show the two shots. One with
I
the
will
skirt being
when it
held.
comes up.
That was the first one.
Okay, that's the first one.
And that is the second
Oh,
one.
yes.
And
Like that.
apparently my wife likes that one a
I
lot.
like that one.
And so you see what happens, the skirt has changed its shape. Go back again and see, that's shot number one. And then shot number two, there we go. So we've gotten, let's do it one more time and see if I can catch that foot all the way over.
We've been asked for your camera settings. Can you?
Okay, my camera settings, let's get this shot and then I'll tell you. You got your hair ready? Ready. Got it. The reason I did that again was in the last shot, I did not get her foot all the way at the top. See, it's not all the way at the top.
But it's still beautiful.
It's still beautiful, but look at this one, the next one, and her foot is higher. So we have 3 shots to choose from.
The energy from her hair, too, is just really amazing.
So
Love that one, don't you?
we're back to Lily.
What do you think?
And what are we doing, Lily? Oh, okay. So she's going to be in 4th position on point. And I've got to guess where to put the lights for her head because I want to light that red hair. That red hair is on fire. And actually, her mother is sitting in the room, and guess what color her hair is? Don't show her, but we know where the red hair comes from. Okay, ready. Now remember, I want you to really, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. One more time, get more commitment and more arch. Ready. There we go. So everybody look at those two.
Just a minute. It's coming up. There we go. It's the second one.
That's the second one, and then the first one.
That one's best,
Holly thinks the first one is best.
but maybe not.
Can we do
Sometimes-
different right arm, like up? I know you want to put that arm back to help you arch your back, don't you? Let's hold it further back. Hold that back arm way back. The right arm way back. Okay? Ready. Up. It didn't stay way back, did it? Now, everybody look at this and you'll see what happens when the light gets uncovered. You can see the light peeking out from behind her body. So we need to move her just a little bit toward the mirror. Ready. There, that's a beauty. I like the backhand. So check that out.
There's the last one. Oh, yeah.
And are we ready for our next model?
Richard, we have a question
Okay.
about what the floor is made of. I think that
It's made, it's got a plywood top on it. But underneath the plywood are little blocks of foam that are about 2 inches square. The little blocks of foam are 2 inches square. And then there is a layer of plywood, that probably 1/2 inch, with tongue and grooves, so there's no joints that are sticking up. And then another layer of 1/2 inch plywood on top of that so that the joints do not line up. It's staggered if you can visualize that. And so you have basically foam blocks underneath 1 inch of plywood, and it works great.
Tell them about Marley. I think that's
Okay, the floor is actually a black vinyl, and it's called Marley. I'll pick up the edge of it. You see, it's white on the other side, and it's actually the same kind of flooring that is in every dance studio in the world and on most stages. Whenever they have a dance performance, they roll it out. So what are we doing with Carrington?
We're going to do the Peter Pan jump.
Oh, we're doing a jump with Carrington. And this is a guess on the height of the light. I call this Peter Pan because when you see it, you'll see what I mean. Ready? I may call it a day with that one. And you see, if you can imagine Peter Pan flying, you can see that Peter Pan is flying, and look at her hair. Now in post, since she's a brunette, in post I will use Photoshop to make that hair brighter.
You can take.
And I can take that
out.
piece of light out. There's a piece of light showing, piece of the light. And of course the stand and everything in the background will be taken out. And that bottom foot I will lighten up in Photoshop. So let's do one more.
Anybody can see it's the reflector. There's a 7-inch reflector back behind there. That's what he's talking
Okay,
about.
what I'm
being
going to
light.
do now is that light was really low. So I'm going to try my best. It may not work, but I'm going to try raising up the light. And believe it or not, you jumped that high. It's hard to believe you jumped that high, but you do. So we'll see. Maybe not quite that high. We'll lower it just a hair. Okay. Now we're on schedule. We're doing all right. So
We're
here
going
we
to
go,
stay
guys.
up here for this one. We're going to see her jump right here.
All right, folks. Ready. We have the light exactly behind her head, but I didn't catch the bottom foot. Do it one more time, and all I'm going to do is concentrate on her bottom foot. You start in exactly the same place you did before. Ready. All right. I got the bottom foot that time. Did she cover the light?
Kind of.
Okay.
But
We're
the
still
light
on
is
the-
coming through her hair. It's kind of fun.
We're on
That
the-
is what I wanted. I wanted the light.
That's not
to
the
come-
most recent shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wanted the light coming through her
There
hair.
you go.
There's the last shot. That is the one.
Yeah, because
All
that's a
right.
good foot.
That is
a
a
good
keeper.
foot.
That's
Okay.
a keeper right there. Who's next?
We have a question that I think is pretty interesting.
What?
Gentleman asked, how do you deal with the mirrors in this room?
The mirror
And
makes no
reflect-
difference in the exposure
None
at
whatsoever.
all.
Okay. Here's your answer.
So another technical question that I'm going to go ahead and answer. The power of the lights, these are Einstein lights. They're branded at 640 watt seconds. And I'm going to come to the back of one of our main lights here. And as you'll see, we have them set basically on a quarter power, and they're emitting 160 watt seconds with a flash duration of 4,464th of a second. So we have them set on action. With the Einstein lights, what the action mode is when the light goes off, it turns off really quick. So that's why we're having that very fast flash duration. So just a little technical explanation there.
You know, I have been remiss. That was Brad. Brad is my fabulous assistant who I just can't get along without now. Oh no, he's gonna hold that over my head. But Brad is the man that's doing the talking. He is, by the way, a Marine and an Afghanistan vet. Iraq, excuse me, I'm sorry. And fabulous help.
Hi, Brad.
Ready.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, that's great. Everybody, you didn't put your hair over on the other side. Put your hair on the other side, start and go just exactly where.
Oh, that was beautiful, too.
Do everything.
So one of the things he's saying is for her to put her hair over the other shoulder. So watch when she jumps, her hair will fly out and around.
There. Now did we.
There we are.
There we are. You see her hair. Her head
All right,
is.
We would like to come in here and take a look here.
Get rid of that. There, you can see her just poking out. Let's do one more and get that hair over there on that other shoulder. The thing that makes it move is she does what I call a bouncy. It's called assemblée, and that makes the hair start moving. Everybody watch. Ready.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
I think we have good hair on that one.
We got that one. Let's move right
Come in
along.
here,
Carrington?
next one pops up.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm enlarging it for you there
Yep.
so you can see it better.
There we go.
Oh, that is just beautiful.
That-
How well tucked and pointed her foot is. And her hands are there. She's not shaping her hands in a particular ballet fashion. We're being a little more contemporary with this. She's got her wrist flexed, but I think it works beautifully with the pose.
And folks at home, Holly is really an integral part of this whole process. With her knowledge of ballet, she keeps us technical folks on point for them. See what I did there? And make sure the dancers are being represented and that they're the best, most beautiful pose that they can be in is being recorded.
Okay, Brad, if you would focus on what I'm doing up
Yes.
here. We're getting to the end of this, guys. And the last thing we're going to be doing requires this backlight to be very low. And so hopefully I've got it low enough.
Right.
And while we're at it, come around here, Brad, and show the front. This reflector has a reducer on it, a snoot, or it's not quite a snoot, but it's a reducer that makes it smaller and makes my job of getting it behind the dancer easier.
So we shoot a lot of dancers that have a waist that is smaller than our 7-inch reflector.
When they're sideways.
Yes, when they're sideways, there's nothing that we could do to keep the light out.
All right, I'm taking the camera off the tripod for this because I'm going to need to be lower. So let's see what we've got here. Are you ready? Ready? All right. I think this is one and done, everybody. Let's see the
Oh,
version.
yes, it's beautiful.
Are we one and done?
What do you think? Dancers always have something they want to work on.
Okay,
So-
but we're running out of time.
I think it's really good.
So her verdict is good. So we're going to do one more that requires, this one is a lot harder because, I mean, all of them are hard, but she's going to be falling. So you will see, you got to commit, hon. You got to commit to the fall. Commit to it. Ready? Okay, you didn't commit. Now we'll be able to compare. I want you to really go back and fall forward.
Just stay safe.
Just stay safe. Get over that front foot.
See, that's not quite committed.
Commit. Ready. You're not committing to the fall. Go on and fall. Go on and safely fall. Ready. There we go. Now that's a much better position.
It'll come up in a
And
second. There.
There we
Yes,
go.
that's much better shape.
So I'm going to put my camera back on the tripod so I don't drop it. And we basically to the end of what I said from 3 to 3:30, but I will answer questions. You ladies want to wait over here? And I will answer questions. So let's hear the questions.
All right, folks, let's get some questions coming up here, and I will go ahead and try to read them off to Richard as so you're in my light. There you go.
Nobody has a question? If not, I'm going to go home.
Let's see here.
We got the settings. There were some
Yeah,
up
the
near
settings-
top. There
All
were
right.
some up near the top that I didn't
The
read.
setting's at 1/200th of a second, and I'm probably at F10. I can look at it. I'm either at F10 or F11, so I have a lot of depth of field at F11.
Interested in lights being used, what their power output is.
Brad, what's the power?
So
output?
the lights we're using are the Paul C. Buff Einsteins, And right now we have them on a quarter power, which is 160 watt seconds, which has a flash duration of 4,464th of a second. So it's 4,464th of a second.
So I'm going to move right up here. And you know, you're not going to get away without me plugging my book one more time.
Center.
And
Perfect.
Moving Moments, it's 128 pages. It's my work. It has a lot of creative work. It has my water shoots. It has my flower, not Flower, but Flour. People call it powder, but it's flour. And so there's a lot of creative stuff in here for the dance lover. And speaking of dancers, I mean, these dancers I have worked with since they were little. And one of my favorite dancers is Madeline. And her birthday is today. And she's watching. Happy birthday, Madeline. And this is Madeline right here. So
we have a couple of questions now
Okay.
that have come up. So your primary camera you use is the 1DX,
no, it's a 1DS Mark IV.
1DS Mark IV. The focusing mode you are using is
Basically I don't know the Canon's name for it, but I have a center focus. I focus on fine focus with just one of the focus dots or whatever you call it that's in the center.
probably AI focus, and then your
No, AI focus I move for moving.
so then your
This is
your
one shot.
one shot focus,
One shot focus.
center focus point. He gets focus and then recomposes
Correct.
to what he needs. Let's see. Here we go. We have.
Oh, we have, for your photo shoots, do you find your dancers or do they find you?
Yep.
You may want to explain that.
Okay, dancers, I get all kinds of inquiries from dancers all over the world. I guess they don't realize where I am, which is in Atlanta in North Georgia. But I find the dancers, and they find me sometimes. One of the things about good things about being affiliated with the Tolbert Yilmaz School of Dance is they've got almost 1,000 students here, and they have a lot of beautiful dancers. And so I get to meet them and work with them when they're young, and by the time they are ready to graduate and leave, I've worked with them for 2 or 3 years, and we have our own shorthand way of talking to each other.
Are you pre-focusing?
I am not pre-focusing. I am focusing usually on the head of the dancer at the time I shoot.
Well, so you're getting focus. You're depressing the shutter half,
I
and
depress-
so that is focusing. So
Yes.
So pre-focusing, and then he's depressing the shutter halfway, and that's when he says ready. When the camera is focused, and they go ahead and do that, then he finalizes the shot. So yes, he is pre-focusing.
One more time, how can people find the book? They have.
Okay, one more time. The way you find my book is you go to richardcalmes.com, and if you don't know how to spell my name, look at Facebook. You're on it right now. And Facebook, go to richardcalmes.com. The navigation off across the top, one of the selections is books. Click on books, and you'll see not only this newest book, but you will see 2 or 3 other books that I have there.
Someone has asked, how much is the book, and will we do this again?
We will do this again. The book is expensive because they are made to order. They are beautifully printed, and the printing and the fact that they are made to order and shipped basically all over the world makes them expensive, but it makes a great gift, and it looks great on your coffee table or whatever.
And one other technical question we have: if you shoot outside, would you still use flash or a faster speed?
It depends. If I'm in the shade, I may use flash, in which case then I have to play around with the exposure because I have to get the background exposed properly, and I have to get the flashes that are exposing the dancers. It's much more difficult. I would rather shoot outside without flash, but I have, this last summer, for instance, I did a shoot. If you'll look on my site and click on the nature shots, you will see that the one that I did most recently I did use flash on all those shots.
Okay. I think there's a couple more, but we'll just go in and answer them individually
Okay.
afterwards.
Well, and we only took 6 minutes more than I said, so look at the dancers. Let's thank
Come on, girls.
Come on up here,
Come on.
ladies. Come on up here, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Beautiful dancers. And get my book.
All right, folks. Y'all have a good one.